This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Welcome to Chapter 0 of Adulting 101, Life Skills Nobody Taught You, where we're kicking things off by talking about the apps, websites, and digital tools that'll actually make your independent life way easier. We're covering everything from budgeting apps to grocery delivery services that'll save you from living on ramen forever. Let's get into it. About half of American teens graduate without a real class on money. Yet, within a year, many are juggling rent, credit cards, and online forms alone. You're handed adult responsibilities without the manual. So, the question is, will your phone run your life or quietly help you run it? Maybe no one handed you a manual, but you did inherit something just as powerful, a pocket-sized control center you already use all day. The twist is that most of its defaults are designed to grab your attention, not help you build a stable life. Adulting 101 is about quietly flipping that script. In this series, we'll pair each core life skill, like keeping your bills straight, booking a doctor, or protecting your identity, with a small, focused set of apps and settings that make the boring parts run smoother. Think turning autopay on with clear safeguards, setting up reminders that actually trigger action, or using simple dashboards that show you, at a glance, whether you're on track this month. We're not aiming for a perfectly optimized life. We're aiming for less chaos, more control, through habits you can learn in an evening and keep for a decade. Think of this series as orientation week for real life: housing, health, work, and the digital glue that holds them together. No grades, just experiments. We'll move through 4 big arenas: money, time, health, and identity, focusing on what actually breaks first when you're on your own: missed payments, forgotten deadlines, lost documents, unanswered emails. Instead of cramming, you'll build a tiny support stack for each area, like stocking a starter kitchen. 1 or 2 well-chosen apps per problem, plus a few 10-minute setup sessions, can quietly turn repeating crises into background routines. Here's the quiet truth about becoming an adult. Most of it isn't dramatic milestones, it's tiny, repeatable moves. Pay this. Reply to that. Sign here. Refill that. None of these is hard on its own, but together they create a constant, low-grade pressure that lives in the back of your mind. The real skill isn't being responsible in some vague way. It's designing your days so those small tasks almost never turn into emergencies. That's where tools actually earn their keep. Not as shiny productivity toys, but as boring, dependable infrastructure. Think of a basic apartment building: beams, pipes, wiring. You don't admire them daily, but if they're missing, everything falls apart. In the same way, your adulting toolkit is a handful of systems that quietly carry weight for you. A way to see what's due soon, a way to store the numbers and documents people keep asking for, a way to catch problems early instead of late. Most people accidentally build this toolkit out of whatever app came pre-installed, or whatever a friend mentioned once. That's like letting your landlord decide how many locks are on your door. In this series, you'll make those choices on purpose. For each area of life, we'll ask 3 questions. 1. What actually goes wrong here most often? 2. What is the simplest repeatable habit that would prevent that? 3. Which 1 or 2 digital tools best support that habit for your personality? A key mindset shift. Being good with tech isn't the goal. Matching tools to your actual behavior is. If you hate typing on your phone, maybe your calendar lives on a laptop but only sends you alerts on mobile. If you're visually oriented, a color-coded calendar or Kanban-style task app might click faster than a text-heavy list. If you already live in your email, anchoring key systems there might beat downloading 5 new apps you'll abandon in a week. We'll also keep an eye on friction. Every extra tap, login, or confusing screen is another chance for future you to say, later, and let something slip. So part of Adulting 101 is learning to notice where you naturally stall, and adjusting your setup so the easiest path is usually the responsible one. Think about the first week in a new apartment. You don't start by hanging art, you start by figuring out where the outlets are, which light switch does what, and where the fuse box lives. In digital life, those outlets and switches are simple choices like where your bills show up, which inbox you actually check, and what gets a loud notification versus a silent one. For example, you might decide that every important thing, rent notices, job documents, school forms, must land in one email folder called Action, and your phone only pushes alerts for that folder. Or you route money-related texts, bank alerts, payment confirmations, into a pinned messages thread with yourself so they don't get buried under memes. Your tools don't have to be fancy to be powerful. A Notes app with 3 pinned lists, money, health, housing, can become your quick reference shelf, account numbers, logins, or hints if you use a password manager, renewal dates. Over time, you're not just surviving tasks, you're slowly drafting your own manual for how you run your life. As AI assistants, finance bots, and digital ID wallets spread, being organized quietly turns into being your own systems engineer. You'll be tuning notification flows, deciding which data to share, and setting boundaries with algorithms the way earlier generations set house rules. Think of it like writing a recipe: clear steps, measured ingredients, and a sense of what done should look like for your time, attention, and privacy in a world that keeps asking for more of each. As we go, treat each tweak to your phone or routine less like homework and more like seasoning a dish, small adjustments tasted over time. Your challenge this week: pick one recurring annoyance, a late fee, lost form, or missed call, and use a single setting or app tweak to reduce it by 20%. Notice not just what changes, but how it feels. This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. To keep learning with structured courses and more insights, go to owlup.co. Until tomorrow!